nothing to do and went your way. Now the days I don't see daylight is like every day. It really hurts to be deserted and left behind. But at the bottom of the bottle, I don't mind. You see, the bottom of the bottle is oblivion. It's such a break from this mistake I'm living in. I gotta get much wetter yet to keep me sane. And at the bottom of the bottle, there's no pain. This iniquity den I'm living in is not my style. It's just a way to get away for a little while. I don't find peace of mind not anywhere. But at the bottom of the bottle, I don't care. At the bottom of the bottle is a magic land that numbs the brain and kills the pain of a lonely man. So bottoms up, my loving cup, I'm on my way. At the bottom of the bottle, here I'll stay. At the bottom of the bottle, here I'll stay.
Hey, it's me, and I don't have any backing music, which I probably should have done, but yeah, you know, there's a lot of things going on around here. You can probably even hear the hamburgers I'm trying to cook in the background right now, so that'll give you some indication. So let's put this on. There we go. Okay. Yep, so it's Rory here at awman.net here for another week, and I'm not going to talk too long because then my hamburgers will burn and then I'll be unhappy about it. So yeah, that was Johnny Bond with Bottom of the Bottle from 1968. I only just found out today when I was digging around online that I just thought that came out on a single, but there's a whole album that ties into, and it's called Drink Up and Go Home. It was put out by Starday Records in Canada in 1968, and I really want to get my hands on that because, at least looking on the titles of it, a lot of them seem to be booze-related. So other than The Bottom of the Bottle, there's, what else? The Bottle Let Me Down, Swinging Doors, which I assume implies like a honky-tonk kind of thing, Papa Top, that kind of standard, what else? Some other things that probably involve being drunk, like Put Me to Bed. There's the title track, Drink Up and Go Home. Yeah, so you get the idea. I couldn't find it on SoulSeek. Maybe I'll buy it because it's on Discogs for like $1 or something. All right, so this week, yeah, we got Zach popping by halfway through. I got a bunch of new stuff I found on Bandcamp, the standard stuff from the past 100 years that's non-standard, as I like to think of it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else. Hopefully I get through the whole show, and it's nice to be back after a week of not being here. It's surprising how much it seems like time has passed, even though it was only 2 weeks ago I did the last show. So anyway, what I'm going to play next is by a band called Balans from Slovenia, and they just put out this new record called Sam Pravm, and that was released by the Kapa Records label, I guess, a couple weeks ago. And anyway, yeah, the name of the song is... Well, the title translates to raining. Google Translate does not help me out here. It won't read it out from Slovenian, but Dežuje, I think. They say it in the song, and now I feel like an idiot for not remembering it. So I'll be able to hopefully tell you the correct title after. So I'll play that for you now.
That we personally made to be here are incredible. My wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg on Craigslist to afford me the opportunity to be here, but they get alone time and I get a chance to be in Omaha, and my double wide trailer will turn into a single wide when I get home. But we got a Fund Me page that I get to go check at the local library on the line. So I get to go check that GoFundMe page, and as soon as I get enough money to afford him a new leg at the end of next year, we're going to be right back.
Oh, yeah. That was Zipper with High War. That came out, I guess, yesterday, officially. According to the Bandcamp page for their label 10th Court, or one of the labels they're on, they put that out through 10th Court, and that they're in Australia, and Urticaria in France. It's funny, looking at the 10th Court Bandcamp page, it says 10th Court. It's an independent record label from so-called Australia. So-called. Yeah, the name of the record is Dreamer's Gate. I don't think I said that. Also heard the Jesus Lizard, Horse Doctor Man from their final full-length record, Blue, came out in 1998 through Capitol. Also the Experts, or the Exports, Seatbelts, Please, from a 1964 King single. Then there was Plop from the Czech Republic, who I just discovered the other day. The song was Mom Boat, and that clocks in at, like 1 minute and 9 seconds? And that just came out through the Learn or Go Society. They have a full, I don't know if it's a full length or a much longer EP as well, and I need to listen to that. At least when I checked it out the other day for like a couple of minutes, it also all sounded good. Then before Plop, it was Pic-Nic. They spell it Pic-Nic. The song was You Heard My Voice. They put that out on a single through United Artists in 1967. And to start, it was Balans with Dežuje. I thought I was going to remember how to pronounce that properly. Anyway, so that came out just through Kappa Records on, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It's called Pravm, as I mentioned. So I'm going to play, speaking of another band from the Czech Republic, I also just found these guys. They're called Pris. And they put this new album out through Divnosti. The name of the song that I will play is, it's printed in Hebrew, and it means mister. I don't know why it's doing this thing. Usually Google Translate would let you play the audio of the thing that you typed in that you want it to translate, but right now it's not doing it. So I guess if I wanted to find out how to actually pronounce that, I can't read Hebrew. How would you do it? I really want to know. Maybe you want to know too. Maybe you don't care. You don't care. Anyway. No, it actually won't. Even if I try to translate it from English to Hebrew, it won't give me the English or the Hebrew spoken audio thing that it usually does. Oh well, can't win them all. So I think I'll leave it at that. Here we go. It's Pris with a song title that I don't know how to pronounce.
slznej plyn v kapkách mirhu ředí. Helmy v nich jsou ztracený. Tváře kamenný tiše září na šelmy. Poslední noc odletí. Vás a do svět oslní.
Sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
that was Climax with Gods Are Fenced In, and that was just put out on a self-titled EP. I think there's just 2 songs on it. Not that you need any more, just saying there's 2 songs on the EP. They're both really good songs. Came out through Digital Hotdogs, who I've played, as in the label, I've played stuff from that label before. They have a lot of good music, so I'll post the Bandcamp link like I always do after the show. Then there was Spectres with Murder Castle. That's a great one, too. It came out through Dark Habits this year in October, to be precise, or semi-precise. I don't recall the exact date. The album is It's Never Going to Happen, and This Is Why. Also heard the Ajax with Night Ride from a 1964 Valiant record single. Heidi Franke with Die Sonne Scheint Nicht Mehr, Ohne Dich, or The Sun Shines No More Without You. My limited German skills come in handy for a song with a title like that. That was released by Polydor Records in 1966, and then we started it with Pris, P-R-I-S as they spell it. The song title I can't pronounce, but translates from Hebrew to English as Mister, and that is from their new release, Kopřivy, that they just put out through Divnosti Records. And I guess next I will play something by Richard H. Kirk. I adore the title of the song, International Smash Face Detective Theme. It came out on Earlier Later Unreleased Projects Anthology 74 to 89, which was released by the Mute Records, the Gray Area subsidiary, in 2004. I thought I'd play this not only because it's a good song, but it's interesting that Richard H. Kirk just put out, or he's about to put out, I think in a couple of days, something like that, a new Cabaret Voltaire record. I'm a little mixed on that because he's the only person in the quote-unquote band, if you want to call it a band. And I don't know why he'd do that. He does all kinds of stuff under his own name and other project names. And what's really the use to call it Cabaret Voltaire if it's just him? I guess you'd have to ask him. Maybe he has an answer. I haven't seen anything. But there were a lot of people complaining, or at least citing that as something to note in the comments on a YouTube video that's, I guess, a single from the record, which was decent. It's not really... I don't really like it as much as his, classic Cabaret Voltaire stuff when they're a 3-piece and doing the really weird stuff. But, it's still half decent. So, yeah, we'll get into all this business and then talk to Zach in about 15 minutes and see what kind of bullshit we can get up to. And then there's a bunch more music to come, so... Woo!
heb ik een uurtje vrij. Iedereen die speelt met mij, ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer dus eruit en dus eraan en dan weer in mijn blootje staan. Ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer badpak uit, badpak aan en dan niet eens wens zwemmen gaan. Ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer, ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer. Ik heb genoeg van al dat harenkammen, van dat gebruts met die kleine BH. Ik lust ook wel eens dikke boterhammen, patatten met mayonaise en sla. Ik wil ook wel eens springen, zingen, gillen. En niemand denkt die Barbie heeft gevoel. Ik zou zo graag wel eens wat anders willen, maar jullie snappen nooit wat ik bedoel. Wanneer is dat nou voorbij? Want het is zo naar voor mij. Nooit heb ik een uurtje vrij. Iedereen die speelt met mij, ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer schoenen uit en schoenen aan en in die stomme standaard staan. Ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer nagelnachtjaponnen aan en dan niet naar bed toe gaan. Ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer, ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer, ik wil niet meer. Iedere keer, ik wil niet meer.
So keep watching Jeopardy 24 hours a day and call this number. You dumb son of a bitch. You don't watch it 24 hours a day. There's a daily cash prize of $1,000 and fuck no shit. Call now and play Phone Jeopardy. She drank the poison that Captain Hook intended for Peter Pan.
Tinkerbell!
Fuck 'em.
you get this letter, please don't laugh. All that's left of my dreams is this photograph. Pictures of two lovers while their love was still new. I'm sure you'll remember the boy is me, the girl is you. The clothes may look funny and out of style. The picture's worn and faded, I've carried quite a while. I guess I kept on hoping someday we'd meet again. I didn't realize how time flies till I looked around, and then I saw a face filled with lines from the kind of life I've led. Count the honky-tonks and women by the gray hair in my head. I could have had your true love that someone else has shared, but all I can look back on is 20 wasted years. I saw a face filled with lines from the kind of life I've led. Count the honky-tonks and women by the gray hair in my head. I could have had your true love that someone else has shared, but all I can look back on is 20 wasted years.
"20 Wasted Years" by Earl Albert. That came out through Spar Records as part of an album called Saturday Night in Nashville. Also heard Champagne Super Chillin' from, or I guess it's a song from a compilation that just came out through Sacred Hood. The compilation is known as Salopard Volume 1, and I don't know if it's a fundraiser for a venue they have or if it's just curated by the venue that those same people at Sacred Hood run in Switzerland, in BL, I believe the city is. So that song was Amor Fati. Then we heard Leontian Snell. The song was Ich will nicht mehr Barbie. And it translates into I don't want any more Barbie, the word Barbie being in parentheses. And that's kind of an awkward title, but she actually does reference the name Barbie in the song, so I guess it's sort of like the Jolene idea, where she's pleading with Barbie not to do something or other. I don't know what. That came out in 1966 through Phillips on a single, and then Richard H. Kirk International Smash Face Detective Theme from Earlier Later, put out in 2004. Compilation of his work from 1974 to 1989 that was previously unreleased. I'm going to play a whole set of songs about trains. So, train songs, not songs about train sets. But before we get to all that, let's talk a bunch of bullshit with Zach as part of I'm Allowed.
Thought of this, baby. Have you ever thought of this thought? And that thought is, give it a shot, Hinchy.
Yeah.
Try me, baby.
All right. What have I got for you? I don't know what I got for you, actually. I never planned this far ahead.
Oh, man.
Phone call's over.
Finally today, you were going to try me. You were going to give it a good shot, baby.
Yeah. Next week we'll try it.
Have you ever been in a fight? A physical fight?
No. Well, I was thinking about this the other day, and the closest I've ever been to a physical fight was almost 2 years ago, but it still was officially the beginning of 2019. So I guess I can still say last year for now. But I was walking home while in Ukraine, and there was this guy who was just kind of drunk and stumbling around, and he said something to me in Ukrainian. Of course, I don't speak Ukrainian, so I just said, yeah, sorry, man, I don't know. And I just assumed he was asking for money, so I was just trying to get away from him. And this is in the middle of the night, too, and there's nobody around. So he's like, oh, Angliski, and then he kind of like lunged towards me and kind of like grabbed me, and I was just trying to get away from him. And it's like, all right, man, I'll just give you I just grabbed whatever small bills I had in my pocket to try and get rid of them. And I was like, here, it was probably worth like $1 or something. And then he's like, no, give me more. And then he started kind of grabbing my hands and stuff, and I was just pushing him away. And there was somebody in a car that was just sitting idling, and I think he seen that too, so he kind of fucked off and tried to make a joke about it. But I thought I was going to have to try and break out the old fisticuffs there, but thankfully cooler heads prevailed. So that's my one and only fighting story, or as close as it gets to one anyway. And I'm not looking.
He was walking on the fight inside of you.
he was, yeah. He was a bigger guy, he was just more kind of fat, but I think I would have had a fair chance because he was just smashed and I was just perfectly sober.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what. The thing is, it's like that Eddie Nowak song, he gets smaller with every drink. You know? It's like, if you get drunk, if you're drunk, you think you're the best fighter in the world, or some people do. I mean, when I drink, I don't drink at all now, but when I drank, I didn't, it never made me feel violent. It never made me, want to attack anybody. It just made me feel good.
Yeah.
I just felt, euphoric and happy, and I'd be more likely to hug someone than to punch them for sure, you know. That it never crossed my mind, but there's some. It's like alcohol accentuates whatever is already in you.
Absolutely.
You know? If you're already kind of like a violent asshole, get a few drinks in that person, and get a few drinks in a person like that, and they're ready to rumble.
Yeah.
But they're so shit-faced drunk, they don't know what they're doing. You know.
If you get a couple of really drunk, aggressive guys like that, though, I'm sure it could be pretty entertaining to watch. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that, but yeah, it's not like in the movies where, crack and smash and all the, basic Batman type sounds for a fight. It's just going to be a bunch of guys or a couple of guys falling all over each other and getting all sweaty and out of breath and that kind of thing.
Wrestling around like a couple of little boys.
Yeah, because I do remember that when I was in high school or junior high, and then there'd be a fight, and you'd probably see a couple of really good smacks thrown at first, but then after that, it just the action really dropped in its quality and quantity. The wind just kind of literally and figuratively knocked out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this guy really early on. I was playing this kind of unusual acid folk music. It was just me and it was just me and a guitar, but I was playing pretty unusual country hillbilly music. And I was really young when this happened. I was 18, maybe 17 or 18, playing at this coffee house / bar, and this drunk guy tried to come up while I was playing. This pretty complex music that people really didn't like all that much. I'll put it that way. It wasn't a hit. I think he probably summed up the sentiment of everybody in the. I wasn't trying to make something that was really listenable or something that people were going to go wild over. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted, which is what I've done my entire life. But he came up and tried to grab my guitar. when I was playing, in the middle of me playing. I gave him one warning. I said, back up, you know. I said it to him, you know, I was on the microphone. I said, back up, buddy. And he did. He backed up for a second, and I started playing again. And he went for my guitar. I just picked up the guitar by the neck and used the butt of it and just went wham and smacked him right in the face with it. Knocked him backwards, and he stumbled over. And I went up toward him to, like, you know, kick him when he was down. To be honest, I was like, man, all right, this is the brawl now, you know.
Yeah.
This is what now I got to do whatever I've got to do at this point. But it knocked him down. It flattened him. And he was really drunk too. It's like that very much. He was very drunk, and he was just like completely dazed by that because I really got him. I got him with it, you know, the big flat broad part of a guitar, the butt of that right in the face, and that did some damage. I mean, I pulled it a little bit. I didn't hit him as hard as I could have. It was more just a hit him in the face and knock him back a little bit.
See, even then you were showing restraint, even when this guy...
I did, yeah. You know, I was totally sober. You know, I was 19 years old. I couldn't have drank in that bar even if I wanted to. I was sober as a judge. But I did go up, you know, I got up off of the little stage I was on. It was like a little platform stage. I got up off of that to finish the job if I had to, but he was so dazed by that. He was just he fell over a couple of chairs, and he was just laying on the ground, so... Then I just people really cheered for that.
You won over the
crowd. They loved that. I did actually win over the crowd with that because I think that guy had been going around all night basically irritating everybody.
Yeah.
So I kind of expressed the collective rage. I mean, I'm you know, I really consider myself a pacifist. You know, I would never instigate a fight. And in some situations, I wouldn't, you know, when I'm outnumbered especially, I wouldn't fight back. It would be stupid to. You're just going to get beat worse.
Yep.
But in situations like that, you know, there's no, it's me or him at that point, you know. It's like, he's not going to stop at grabbing my guitar. He's going to, because I'm going to finish my set no matter what. I'm there to play a set. I'm going to finish that goddamn set. And there's nobody's going to stop me. Nobody's gonna pull me off stage once I'm on there.
Even if the guy comes with the big cane, it doesn't matter. You're not
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd love someone to try that, man. A guitar is as long as a cane, baby. I'd whack him in the head with that guitar. Do whatever, you know. I don't know. And it seemed like early on my shows were riots, and it was like. I was trying to make them like that. I mean, I really revel with that. I don't anymore. I just want to play a set and, you know, present what I'm trying to present in a way that I want to present it, and, you know, usually thoughtful and kind of quiet. And I haven't had any kind of problems with that for many, many years. But it seemed when I was really young, just full of like, I don't know. Maybe it was a kind of aggression. I booked this tour. I sent this CD of kind of like Townes Van Zandt, like folk music, and I made up all this big press release stuff for it. I made all this stuff up, wrote all these reviews for it from magazines, and it was like pre-internet more or less, so nobody fact-checked that I wasn't this kind of country sensation, the way I painted myself in all these writing. So I sent this around to a bunch of honky-tonks, this like Townes Van Zandt type folk music. And then when I got there, I took off all my clothes except like really small bikini underwear and just played saxophone, solo saxophone, walked on tables, kicked over drinks. I mean, I went absolutely bananas. You know, again, something I'd never do again, but it was like, I don't know. It's like I read an interview with Billy Corgan and I really detest Billy Corgan, but I thought this interview was kind of telling, you know, like he started playing music because he didn't get much attention as a child. And, you know, he wanted positive attention from people. But I never had that problem. I always had pretty good solid attention when I was a kid. So it was like a way of like saying, I don't need anybody's goodwill. I'm gonna revel and be in the bad. It's kind of like being a heel in a wrestling show or something. It's like being a bad guy in a wrestling show.
Yeah.
And I very much embraced that for maybe like the first 2 or 3 years of me performing live was just this wild assault. I was doing that in honky tonks and like in front of bikers, you know. Some crowds really loved it. They were like, "Man, what the?" They were just so shocked because they thought they were there to see like a country crooner, and then they just saw basically a half naked man squealing on free jazz sax and walking on tables and going out in the crowd and playing into the crowd. And some of those crowds, you know, it was rowdy crowds. I played one place that had like chicken wire in front of the stage, so they couldn't throw their bottles at you. And they were trying to. They were throwing bottles at me.
That's just going to encourage
screaming at
them,
me
I
to
think.
stop.
Like, yeah, if they know they actually can't, they're just going to fucking rail bottles at the wire the whole night.
Oh, yeah.
You must have beer all over you.
I was covered in beer. I left that just covered in beer because they were like throwing shit at me. They were saying, "Get off the fucking stage," calling me, you know, like all kinds of derogatory names for homosexuals. You know, it was like any really hurling insults at me, screaming at me, and I was behind that chicken wire just just blaring away on that sax, and they were, you know, they were shutting off the sound system, all this, and I'd keep playing without amplification. I'd still just be skronking out this free jazz sax stuff, and man, that was a wild ride. And then the last show is in Blackburn, Ohio, and this is like a little town of like maybe 300 people, all biker crowd, and I played like a particularly vitriolic show. You know, it's a really wild, nutso show.
Go out with a bang.
And yeah, yeah, you know, walking on tables and kicking over drinks. So the whole bad guy routine. And this group of bikers followed me out when I was you know, I didn't have much gear. I just had my suitcase and my saxophone. And they were following me out when I was finished. And I was still in my underwear. And they followed me out, and they formed a circle around me and started calling me, you know, like, I'm not going to even repeat the names they were calling me, but it was derogatory names for people who are gay. And, you know, just becoming very menacing and very threatening. And then, you know, forming that circle around me. And then someone behind me whacked me on the head with a beer bottle, knocked me from behind because I was in a circle and they were just like threatening me and all this stuff. And then somebody from behind whacked me on the head with a beer bottle. And then I dropped to the ground and they started just kicking the shit out of me. They broke my nose. They broke a couple of my ribs.
Wow.
It ended with a bang, that's for sure. I didn't win in that fight at all. I didn't do anything at all. I just kind of like curled up because that's all you can do in that. So you can just like try and protect your face and your privates, basically.
Yeah. How did you get out of there? I mean, did you just like kind of crawl over to your car and get in and just drive down the road a little bit?
Yeah, they finally just finished and, you know, just still called me a few names and just kind of wandered off into the night drunkenly. Yeah. And, I just picked myself up and put my gear up and drove my car a little down the road so that I was away from the bar. You know, I parked at this little state park that was down the road maybe 3 or 4 miles and slept in the car that night because I wasn't up to driving. I had maybe a 2-hour drive home. I couldn't have driven that with all my injuries. I couldn't have done it that night. But then, I woke up the next day and I had a friend that was like a intern. He was going to be a doctor, and he set my nose. I didn't go to the hospital, but he set my nose for me. And that was painful. And then, there's nothing you can do for ribs. I just wrapped him up. And hurt for a few weeks, basically.
Well, it's a good story, anyway, even though it probably wasn't all that great to go through. But
yeah, it was kind of fun. I was really asking for it. It's like that. Their response was appropriate. I don't begrudge them their response. I think their response was appropriate. I'm surprised it didn't happen more. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, or that it couldn't have.
That's what happens to it.
Or that it didn't go worse than that, because I guess, that sounds pretty bad, but it could be worse still.
Yeah. They could have brought out weapons. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I was playing a pretty dangerous game. That's the last time I toured like that. It's like I had to get that out of my system,
Yeah.
In a way, it's like I wanted to try it out. Because in high school, there was a friend of mine in high school was trying out for ECW, which was at that time a big wrestling organization.
Right. Yeah,
they rivaled the WWF. They're like more extreme. And he was on the undercard for an ECW match. He was a big, tall guy. He's like 6'7", and they were promoting him as like a hero type on there. I forget what they call those in wrestling, but they were promoting him, Pretty Boy, I think. That's what they call him. And he asked me if I would be his heel, his bad guy.
Yeah.
And I got to be on the undercard of an ECW match in Columbus when I was maybe 16 years old. Went out, just like riling the crowd up, calling them all a bunch of dumb city boys and stuff like that. I played like a country boy, kind of hillbilly act. I came into that song, "It's Raining Men." that was my theme. That was my theme coming out, and he just kind of like whooped me basically.
Yeah.
It was like one of those things where you lost pretty quick.
Yeah.
I didn't get any. It was like to pump him up basically, but I really enjoyed that. It's something I wish I could have done more. They didn't end up picking him up, so I never got to do that again. But I thought that was a pretty big thrill for me.
I'm sure there must be. Well, that's pretty good to be connected to somebody who was trying to get ahead in the whole wrestling circuit or whatever. But there was, I guess there probably still is, or at least will be after the COVID thing dies down, whenever the hell that'll be, in Ontario, not necessarily Toronto, but in other cities and towns, they have wrestling leagues and shit like that there. And my pal, the Baron, he used to be in Alpha Strategy in the band, and he invited me down to one of these things, and those actually get kind of nuts. Like, they had all these fluorescent lighting tubes that they were breaking over people, and they had this, like, it was towards the end, they pinned down one guy who was kind of I guess they were both using it. They had this, like, bat that was covered in barbed wire, that is. And yeah, it pinned down like one guy and was just kind of grating his skin with it and stuff like that. But
God!
Yeah, it was really impressive kind of how over the top it was. And it was in this stinky kind of like Legion Hall sort of thing. And there's just a lot of ruffians there. It was in Hamilton, and which is kind of like an old industrial town. And then just a lot.
Yeah, I remember when we played in Hamilton.
Yeah, so it's just people like missing teeth and people who've lived really hard lives hanging around there partaking in this or watching it, and it was really entertaining. I'm not even a wrestling guy, but just the whole thing from a sociological standpoint. Whenever I come back, we should try and get in on some of that stuff and go see one of those.
Oh man, count me in for sure. There's a little like I don't know what they call what the appropriate term, but there's a little person wrestling league here in about 30 minutes away from where I'm at, and they're actually still doing it. I haven't gone because it's stupid to go. It's stupid they're doing it right now, but there's like a little person wrestling league in Pigeon Forge where we stayed. It's probably like 5 minutes away from where my dad's condo is, I guess. They just brought it in this year, which is stupid. I don't know why they would start it during COVID, but they have shows daily, wrestling shows daily there. Isn't that stupid?
It is.
I would never,
Yeah, and isn't there
what
the
a
thing
stupid
where
thing to do?
We'll say people of that stature often don't live as long as people of a normal stature. So I don't know. It could be kind of dangerous for them too. But oh well.
Yeah, it's great. of course they can't wear masks when they're wrestling, you know? And the deal is, of course, so in Sevier County, which is my adjoining county, there is a mask mandate. So the audience is supposed to be wearing masks, but I'd put strong money on that not being enforced.
Yeah.
When you go in, you probably have to. It's like restaurants around here. All the restaurants are open. It's a mask mandate, so you have to walk in with a mask. But how are you going to wear a mask when you eat? You don't have to. People just take their masks off and they sit in these cram-packed restaurants. It's deranged. What? There's like very good reason that cases are spreading in the U.S. because people are doing really stupid things like that constantly. It's everywhere. I cannot understand that.
Yeah, the results, like, what else are you going to expect?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know how that story ends.
Yep.
That story ends like there's like the cases in Sevier County are nuts.
Severe.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, they're severe. Sevier County has severe COVID because you got tourists coming in from all over the goddamn country. It's like a big tourist trap, and they're really operating business as usual. It's shocking. It blows my mind. I kind of like to. I do drive by and like watch it from afar because it's so. It's kind of mesmerizing how stupid it is.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things that basically somebody has to lay down the law, as in create regulations and then have it enforced. Otherwise, people are just going to continue to do stuff like that. But that's
and they mandated the mask, but how are you going to wear a mask when you're eating at a restaurant? I mean, it's not possible. How are you going to? Who's going to go by person to person in a little person wrestling league and say, okay, you got to have that mask on and over your nose? No one's going to do that. Yeah. It's not being done. There's a quote unquote mandate, but no one's enforcing the mandate. And then you have so many people that are like virulently against it. I don't wear a mask. I don't need a mask. Well, okay. Your mom's going to get sick and die. You may not get that sick, but you're gonna get your mom sick, and she's gonna die, and so it's pretty it's pathological. It's like a pathological psychosis or something. It's interesting to watch from afar.
Yep.
Because of how terrifying and strange it is, but certainly not something I'm going to be. I'm very glad to be living on a mountain behind a locked gate. I'll put it that way. No one gets up here unless I unlock the gate and let them in. So I'm the sheriff of this property, and all that stuff's followed pretty closely.
That's a good thing. Well, pal, we're close on the 24-minute mark here, so maybe we'll wrap it up.
Oh man. Yeah, I guess we should. Yeah, well, until next time. As always, what a thrill.
Yeah.
This is such a thrill for me, my buddy.
Always a good time.
It's always good to talk about violence and poop and pee and
yeah, the
magic mushrooms and
the finer things in life.
Yeah, that's right. This is a forum for that. Finally.
Yep.
Finally a chance to talk about the real deal. All right, my friend. I'll be seeing you.
All right. Catch you next week. Be seeing you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right. I think we said everything that needs to be said right there. So let's go to that set of train songs I was telling you about. I'll start with the Shangri-Las, The Train from Kansas City, put out by Redbird in 1965. I hope my mouse works. Yeah.
station by the railroad track. There goes the train, it ain't a coming back. It's got my baby, I can hear her cry. There goes the train, train of goodbye. Goodbye, train, train of goodbye. Goodbye. took my baby away from me. Tears in my eyes, I could hardly see. Oh, train, won't you bring my baby back again? I would love that woman, you just don't know. And now that she's gone, how will this do? Oh, train, will I ever see her again?
Then how very uncomfortable for you, old chap.
Train arrived, 16 coaches long. Train arrived, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby and gone. Train, coming around the bend. Train, coming around the bend. Well, it took my baby, but That train, the same old train. That train that stole my love, rolled my love. There goes the guide, darling, darling. There's the guy that stole my girl. There they go, they're standing alone, all alone. They're standing in their joy, in their joy. Darling, here am I, darling, darling, dear. I am standing a lonesome boy. If I should have died, I had a died. Died when I were young, I were young. Darling, I wouldn't have had, darling, I wouldn't have had, wouldn't have this race to run.
Set. It's what, 8 songs long, I think. Yeah, that's right. So that was Rolly McGill and his Rhythm Rockers with There Goes That Train, put out on a single in 1955 by Piney Records. We heard before that The Swanks with Ghost Train, also on a single, that being put out by Charm in 1968. Gin Gillette, Train to Satanville, I played that the other week, but I love that song, so it fits into the theme. Why the hell not play it again? That was put out by Musicon in 1961. Then there was Johnny Wallene, Mystery Train, from a single released by Cooley, I don't know when. The Count Bishops, before that, Train Train, from a 1976 Chiswick Records label single. And it's interesting, I got wind of that one because there's this playlist, a mixtape thing that Jeffrey Lee Pierce put together years ago and gave to this guy who was in the Gun Club really briefly, who I think was a drummer, maybe in between records or something. And so this was one of the songs that was on that mixtape, along with a lot of other really good stuff, some of which I've played on here, other things I will probably play later. But it sounds, you can definitely tell if you're familiar with Mother of Earth by the Gun Club. He's borrowed a few elements from it, but yeah, I think it's all in good tribute anyway. So yeah, the Count Bishops, Train Train. The Millionaires before that, Haunted Train from a 1959 Shar record single. Then it was Jim Foley and the Big Beats Goodbye Train from 1960, the Lucky single. And to start, the Shangri-Las, The Train from Kansas City from a 1965 Redbird single. I had a bunch more stuff I was going to play next, but time's really kind of escaped my grasp here, as it tends to do. So I'm going to play just the two things that I really want to play, and the rest of the stuff I'll get to next week or whatever. Fox Eagle next with Haunted Land from Waves on Water. That was put out earlier this year by Last Disorder. And then Radiant, who I played the other week. Miss Meteor is the song, and comes from their self-titled album released by Jaren earlier this year. So, thanks for being here as usual. I will return next week. There's absolutely no reason why I would not. And yeah, we'll keep this train moving along. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to either the live thing or the replay. And I'll post all the related materials on ohman.net shortly. Bye.
Just look after yourself, as they always say, because no one else will.
Let us get the fuck out of here.
Be seeing you.
And you.